Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. Today, I want to ask you a question, our No Days Off Nation, all the entrepreneurs out there running companies. I want to ask you a question that might hurt a little bit, it might sting a little bit. Are you running the business that you think you're running? Are you running the business that you think you're running? Or are you running a version of it, maybe a version that your team or your small company has learned to show you as the leader? See, I was reading a piece written by a woman named Irina Wolpert, and it was called the two organizations problem, the two organizations problem. Irina happens to advise boards and CEOs, and here's her core idea. Her core idea is that every company is actually two companies. There's the reported organization, which is the one that shows up in your dashboards and in your meetings and in your numbers. And then there's the lived organization, which is the one your people experience every single day. The real quality of the work, the real state of the team. It's what your customers actually feel. Now, her article is written for big companies, scaled companies, CEOs with thousands of employees. But I'm telling you, as I was thinking through this problem shows up in a 5-person, 10-person business as well. Here's why. Irina lays out 3 forces that create the gap. And let me translate them for you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. First, there's what Irina calls filtering. Every time information travels from your front line, from your salespeople, whoever it may be, somebody summarizes it. Somebody likely smooths it all out. Somebody decides what's worth mentioning to you. None of those decisions are necessarily dishonest, but if you add them up, the picture you're getting has probably been pretty polished before it even reaches you. So the first force is filtering. The second force is incentives. People show you what they believe gets rewarded. So if you get frustrated by bad news, then the bad news is likely not to come your way. Not because the problem's necessarily slowed or stopped, but because the reporting stopped. If your team knows you want to hear that the new system that you put in place, or the new marketing plan or whatever it is, if they want you to hear that it's working, then every update is going to, in fact, say that system is working. The third and final force that Irina references is time. Time in the sense that the longer you've been in charge, the more your people have learned exactly what it is you want to hear. They also know what totally sets you off. They know what you'll question and maybe what you'll let slide. So let's say in year 1 of your business, you saw the real business. You knew the thing inside and out. By year 5, you might be seeing the version your team has built for you. Here's the part I think that most caught my attention. Irina says the most polished cultures often hide the biggest gaps. Now think about that. The owner who talks the loudest about culture, open communication, about transparency, might be the one hearing the least truth. That was really surprising to me. The reason for that is because the team performs transparency instead of practicing it. It performs transparency instead of practicing it. So what do you do about that? I think there's 3 moves, and it's pulled from what the best leaders in Irina's research actually do. First, and I think this should be our default behavior, we need to show up where the work happens, and we need to do so unprepared and maybe even unannounced. What does that look like? That means walking into the bullpen and sitting on the sales calls. It means, in your retail business, standing at the front counter. It means in your contracting business, riding along on the job site. And then when you're there, don't just ask things like, hey, how's it going? That question is going to just get you a performance. Instead, I want you to ask, hey, walk me through what you decided this week. Walk me through the moves you made this week. I think when you ask really good questions like that, you're going to get some real answers. Now, the second strategy here, in order to counteract what it is I'm describing, is make the gap visible. What do I mean when I say that? Arena suggests one simple question that you could ask your team. You could ask them one person at a time, and you could do it in private. She recommends you ask, name one thing you believe about this business that I don't. I think it's a pretty powerful question. Name one thing you believe about this business that I don't. Ask a few different people that question. Pay attention to where the answers they give you don't match. That probably gives you a little bit more information than the scoreboard or the spreadsheet, whatever it may be. Third, I want you to reward the truth tellers. Reward the truth tellers. Think about the last time somebody on your team brought you an uncomfortable truth. It's probably, for many of us, been a long time. What happened to them? What happened to them when they brought you that uncomfortable truth? Well, if they got thanked, especially publicly, your people will keep telling you the truth. If they got shut down, even if it was done in a polite manner, the next person likely stays quiet. So your reaction in that one moment sets the information you'll probably get for the next several months or years. So here's your action item for the week. This week, I want you to ask one person on your team that question I gave you. Name one thing you believe about this business that I don't. And then just listen to the response. Don't try to defend anything. Don't explain. Just listen. I think as you go through that line of questioning of just one person and maybe a couple others, you're going to discover some things. And ultimately, you'll be able to bridge the gap between the actual company you're operating and the one you may think that you're operating. That's all I have for you today. The No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get after it.